Hey man, good afternoon for you. It's good night for me. Good. It's like 1:20 a.m. in China.
Somebody said I got to upgrade a plan. I got to upgrade the country. Uh, but everything is good, man. Everything's good. So you out there in China?
Yes, sir. I'm out here filming a lot of content for you guys, man. I want to double down on China content this year, y'all. Like, 'cause a lot of guys are hitting me up about China. Y'all are interested in it, so I'm gonna put more content out there before I go back traveling to the other places.
Okay, okay. And so why China, man? Why have you decided to choose China out of all the other countries over there in Asia?
Man, China's gigantic, bro. It's like, this kind of country is so big, you can never get bored. And I'm even now, like, I'm still discovering places that I want to go to. The other day, I was out filming. I met these two girls from Guangzhou, like they're studying in Guangzhou, and they got me really excited about it because I've seen some other things coming from Guangzhou. It's like, hey, like they got some dime pieces over there. It's like a hidden gem, so I might need to go check that out.
Excellent, excellent, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the room, guys. Appreciate you being patient. I got my man Jay Clyde in the building. Says BMT, you need to be in Medellin, the digital nomad haven for internet. Shout out to Jay Clyde, man. And I got my man Kevin Johnson in the building. He's also a member, man. I appreciate you becoming a member. Says, damn, after pause, Coach Greg Adams for your podcast, BMT. Shout out to Coach Greg, man. Shout out to my man, Coach Greg. He shouted me out a couple of times on his channel, so I definitely want to appreciate him, man. And shout out to my man, Pooh Man, is also in the building. Now, Danny, we've done a couple of interviews about dating in Asia in general, but in this interview, we want to just mainly focus on China, right?
Mm.
And this your dating experience as a black man in China. Now, what we hear off in America is China is very conservative. They kind of just do their own thing out there. The press about China isn't the greatest. And
Mm.
besides maybe some rush hour movies, we have no idea what goes on out there in China. Maybe
Mm.
that's anti-China propaganda. I don't know. But like, what's just a general feel of you being a black man just overall in China?
All right, first of all, I want to say, like, it really shocked me when I found out how anti-China the media is. It's like a lot of people, like, when I bring up China, like, there's always, like, even before the live stream started, there's like one guy in the comment section who's never been to China who's like, oh, it's probably best to skip China. I'm like, you haven't been to China? Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, um, I'm I couldn't imagine like what my life would be like if I had skipped China. Like I chose to come here, and I think I made the right decision. I used to think like, oh, like what if I chose a different country like Brazil or Colombia or like some other place? But like as time went on, I kind of realized that this was like a really good decision. So first of all, we're talking about like dating here. It's really interesting dynamic that's going on now because in China, so for example, for you guys who see the thumbnail, those are two girls I met a couple nights ago. Was that like Sunday night? It's like Tuesday over here in China. It's Tuesday night over here, so I met them Sunday night, I think. And those girls are from a different city, right? And those girls kind of like hip hop girls. Like they're kind of like later that night, they brought me to a hip hop club here, Chinese hip hop club. So it's like the younger generation. There's this like really interesting like niche of girls who like they really know a lot about black hip hop culture and rap music and things like that. They kind of grew up watching black people. So for you guys who watched the live stream last time, we talked about how white guys have the advantage and that the media gives them a lot of positive representation in movies, TV shows, music, etc. But for this certain percentage of women, they kind of grow up like watching hip hop and black people stuff. So we kind of have the advantage with those types of women. And if you look at those women, those girls are freaking hot. Like those girls in the video, I'm gonna release that video maybe a few days later. But those girls are like pretty good quality. So I think you definitely do have options over here. If you want women who are like specific, like they know about black culture, they're into black guys, etc.
Okay, so you mentioned something about Chinese hip hop clubs. Can you give us like a rundown? Like, what are they playing? You know, the recent hip hop hits, old hits, or do they have their own Chinese rap thing going on out there? I know Japanese is blowing up with they version of rap.
So rap music is really popular in China, especially American rap music. They know about the old school hip hop artists, like a lot of the like rappers, like the Chinese rappers. They grew up listening to like the same music as us, pretty much. So they know like about all the old school classic rappers, probably better than the generation of like American black kids growing up now, because uh, Chinese people are just really passionate about it, and like they're listening to the new stuff. Like I was in there, they had a TV. It was like a really big club. Like it was like really nice hip hop club. Like it's a club specific for hip hop. The actual name of the club is Hip Hop, and it's like a 3-story building, gigantic building. And yeah, basically they're playing all the new stuff. They had Young Thug on there. They play Chinese rappers too. They mix Chinese rappers and then like American rappers. It was a really good club. I really like it. I'm gonna go there again. I should go there more often because
Was you the only black person in this club?
apparently there are like 2 black DJs there who DJ sometime.
Okay.
I didn't see them, but basically, yeah, like pretty much if you go there, you're probably not going to see a lot of other black people because here's the thing I've noticed for those types of Chinese clubs, they like rap music and hip hop, and a lot of girls there, they understand English, but it still helps you if you can speak Chinese. So for me, I can speak Chinese. You guys see in my videos that I've been putting out recently, I speak Chinese. So that really helps because, a lot of girls, they might like rap music, but maybe their English still isn't that good. So I have access to the girls who don't speak English and the girls who do speak English. So yeah, Chinese is a good skill to have.
Excellent, man. I got a question here from a Facebook user. Apologies, I can't see your name. But he says, I always wanted to visit China. People keep saying it's not safe for Americans to visit right now. He put that as a question mark.
Nah, that's incorrect information. I'm not sure why. It's like, okay, for example, Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I would not go to Russia right now. You and I, we both have a mutual friend who loves Russia. Like he posts those videos of him with Russian girls on his motorcycle, and I
Oh
think
yeah,
you know
yeah,
the guy
my
I'm
man.
talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, yeah. And and even he said like Russia would be okay, but for me, maybe Russia, like any country that like kind of is at a war or like kind of and America's involved, I probably wouldn't go there. China is like there's no war going on over here in China. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any war anytime soon. Um, oh, and also the visa option here. Here's one thing you guys gotta know, man. Like a lot of these countries, if you want to stay long term, you got to think about the visa options. China offers a really, really good visa option, 10-year visa option, 10 years. So you get the visa, you can come stay for like basically 10 years. Like it's a long term visa. And for me, I teach English online. I make really good money teaching English online. So I'm thinking in the next year, I'm going to switch to like the China tourist visa. That way I'm just making money online and I can live in China on tourist visa and like, just keep it like that. Right now I'm on like a special work visa, but yeah, I'm going to switch to a tourist visa in the near future. And yeah, it's a blessing, y'all. So don't believe what they say about the negative stuff about China. Like, I think there's enough good videos out there on the YouTube letting you guys know that if you come here, you can probably have a really good time. So I
Yeah,
highly recommend it.
that's very true, man. Because the visa situation in Thailand is a major headache. Major headache. I mean, they got some rules that just do not make any sense. It makes sense in hindsight, I guess you want to say, of what they're trying to tell you to do. But I'm used to like going when I want to. For example, the Muay Thai visa, right? The Muay Thai visa is about, last time I checked, it was about $1,300. That lets you live in Thailand and take Muay Thai classes for like up to 9 to 12 months, something like that, right? And a lot of people don't know is you can't leave on that. You can leave, but you can only leave for 2 weeks because apparently you're supposed to be in school. Now, you go to school, not go to school, that's up for debate, right? That's whatever situation you in. But a lot of people don't go to actual Muay Thai classes, right? So I understand where the government's coming from. They're saying, hey, well, why are you leaving so long? You're supposed to be in school. You should only be able to leave for 2 weeks. You got to come back. So a lot of people actually lose their Muay Thai visa because they go to Bali or they go to Malaysia or something. I mean, not Malaysia, or they go to Bali, they go to another country out there, and they go for a couple of weeks, and they realize when they get back, hey, your Muay Thai visa is revoked. You're back on a tourist visa. You're like, what? Why? Like, well, you left. You're supposed to be in school for 2 weeks. Another example would be the educational visa, right? So you get the educational visa, you can stay out there for like a year. I forgot exactly how much that is. That's maybe, I know it's like 1,000 or something. But this is the thing. The police, if they say you pull you over, right? And they say, hey, let me see your papers or whatnot, or they hit you, whatever the reason is. And you say, oh, I'm good. I got a educational visa. They'll say, okay, educational visa. That's for learning how to speak Thai. Tell me your birthday in Thai. And these people be like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know how to tell their birthday in Thai, because Thai is not an easy language to learn. And most people don't actually go to class first, for Thai. They just buy the visas. So it's little things like that. It can be a real headache. So you saying a 10-year visa, that's good. That's real good. That's actually very excellent.
Yeah. In terms of like my situation, I thought I was gonna move from China. I was looking at other countries to maybe relocate to. That's why I went to the Philippines a few months ago. But then I decided like, hey, China's actually a really good situation. And basically I could stay in China and I could bounce back and forth between China and Thailand or the other Asian countries really easily. So I'm kind of pretty satisfied with my situation here. It looks pretty good.
Somebody said, my man, Wade Nobis Marticio. Marticio, retro game and cartoon homework. Bro, that's the longest name I've ever seen on YouTube. I think East Asia is best, especially Taiwan and Japan. You been in Japan?
Oh yeah, I've been in Japan. I was in Taiwan too. Honestly, Taiwan is okay. It's a little bit boring. I think it's like, it's not as exciting as the mainland. Yeah, and Japan is cool too. Look, here's one thing you guys got to know. People get on China, like people think like the Chinese government, they think, oh, it's so strict here. Actually, Chinese people are actually pretty relaxed when it comes to like the rules. Like, people break the rules here all the time. It's like the perception that people have of China is like it's so strict, but really Japan is super strict. Like Japan is the kind of country where if you're like just simple stuff, like you're breaking so many rules and like so many cultural things. It's like I want to throw away a piece of trash. Apparently it's rude in Japan to throw your trash in someone else's like trash can or something. It's like all those kind of little rules that, it kind of made my time in Japan like way more, oh, I got to think. In China, you don't have to think. Like Chinese people are really relaxed. And that's one of the things that kind of people maybe they criticize Chinese people, because Chinese people, they kind of, they're actually like, they don't really follow rules the way that, maybe like a lot of civilized societies do. But for me, I like it here because it's chill. I don't have to like, try hard to like pretend to like follow some kind of cultural rules. I can kind of do what I want.
Okay,
I see this guy's comment here. I see this guy's comment.
Dusty Bryant says this dude moved to China for chicks who want to be black. You want to respond to that?
That's not what I'm saying, guys. I'm saying that there are a lot of women here who are interested in like rap music. So that gives you kind of an in. That gives you an in terms of like your ability to date women. It kind of helps if she has some kind of foreign influence. Like she has some kind of exposure. If you're trying to go to these countries and date women who have like zero experience, like zero foreign, like they never even like watched any English movies, they don't listen to English music. I think having a relationship with those types of women, like the kind of relationship I want, right? Like I want a girl who I can like travel with and who I can like share some stuff with, because I am American and I do pay attention to some American stuff. So if you're trying to date a girl who's like 100% foreign, who like, she's just not into anything outside of her own culture. I think that relationship, I've done that before, and it's like not as fun compared to girls who like are at least a little bit open minded, right? Like a girl who listens to rap music, she knows like, that kind of stuff. At least she's like a little bit open minded, right? Like I could probably, if I want a girl who I can take her to Pattaya Walking Street and I want to bring her inside the go-go with me, you're not gonna get that from a traditional woman, guy. So you want to do some freaky stuff. You need to get some girls who are more open-minded to like, other stuff.
Right,
That's a different topic. We can talk on that.
Wait, besides hip hop, do they also know soul music and reggae music?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I get shocked when I find out the kind of stuff that Chinese people, like the young generation here, like they know a lot of stuff, and it's like they have these kind of niche clubs where they play like certain types of music, etc. So it's like a niche area. Like they like you can find someone who likes soul music, someone who likes reggae music. Music is like really influential over here, like especially American music.
Okay. I got another question about my man Xantos Club with the super chat, man. I really appreciate it. That's the first super chat of the day. He says, what about the black men who aren't into hip hop and don't want to stick to that to get chicks? Hood culture is why most East Asian hate us these days.
Okay, first of all, I think I don't really come across as hood, guys. I think I come across as pretty, square. I think I come across as pretty square, so I'm not really a hood guy. But I do listen to rap music, and I like that. Yeah, basically, yeah, you still have access to women. The main thing is that you're gonna have to learn Chinese probably, because like if you want to like date women, like you have access to a bigger pool of women when you speak the language. So I think that's probably the main thing you should focus on. But yeah, you don't need to stick to hip hop culture. Honestly, I think the biggest foreign culture influence in China is probably European culture. Because Chinese people, they see European culture as kind of like high class and like, that's kind of like, I think, it's kind of glorified like European culture, like Europe. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of different influences here. It's not just like hip hop. But yeah, in terms of like dating a girl, I think I've learned over the years that dating girls who have at least a little bit of foreign influence, like who know a little bit about foreign stuff, is better than dating a girl who's like 100% Chinese. She never listens or reads anything that's not Chinese. I like girls who are at least who are a little bit international.
Okay. So you did this video here called Chinese Girls Invite Black Men to Hotspot and are impressed by his perfect Chinese. Now, this is one of the best vlogs I've ever seen, bro. Like when I saw his vlog, I'm like, yo, this was real dope to see you out there in the streets speaking Chinese. You want to give us a little bit of a breakdown before we start the video?
Oh yeah, so I just recently decided to start like filming my daily life. I want to have like a more consistent filming schedule, and I think it's probably easier for me if I just film myself in my daily life and just talk about the things I do. And I try to make it, interesting. Like I live in the city center, so there's lots of Chinese people everywhere, and yeah, I just get opportunity. Like I'm surprised. Like I thought maybe Chinese people would be shy if I tried to film them, but actually a lot of them just jump on the camera like really aggressively, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start the video.
中国话也说得好耶。
谢谢，我就在中国9年了。
好多年了。
9年。
9年。
对。
哇哦。
Woo! Taking these stairs. Yeah, taking the stairs is very healthy. I've been taking the stairs a lot this past year, getting this daily cardio in. Okay, guys, so I'm on the way to the gym. I changed up my gym schedule. I used to go in the evening times. Now I'm thinking about going during the daytime because evening times, if you put something off until the end of the day, it's more likely to get canceled, right? So if something's important, you should put it at the beginning of the day, like fitness. It's a lot of people out today.
Let me ask you this, Danny. How big are you in comparison to the average Chinese guy?
So the Chinese guy,
not towering over everybody out there.
yeah, so I'm slightly over 6 feet tall. There's like the Chinese guys in my part of China are really short.
Okay.
The South, like they're pretty short. It's like if you see a Chinese guy who's 5'10", that means he's pretty tall compared to a lot of Chinese guys. But here in the South, guys are pretty short. In the North, people are a lot taller. It's like the average height is like a lot higher. But yeah, here is like, I'm pretty big compared to like the average guy.
Okay.
Because it's lunchtime. So anyway, speaking of health and fitness, I saw an article. I was reading an article today about Andrew Huberman. He's in the news now because apparently he's a big playboy. Hello, hi. 就拍视频，吃火锅，要减肥。
减肥吃嘛？啊，
我的健身房，我在健身房的路上，健身房。好。
好了再见。
下一次。
你在直播哪个嘛？我关注你。Hello。
Hello。
你哪里的人？
美国。
美国人啊？
对。
你的这个中国话也说得好耶。
谢谢，我就在中国9年了。
好多年了。
9年。
9年。
对。
哇哦。你就干这个直播了吗？
这不是直播，就是拍视频。
你发抖音吗？快手？
有一个频道，老外吃成都。
我爱吃成都。
老外
吃成都。
对。
我好像听过那样刷过的，哪个关注？
对，关注。
来过来合照影嘛？
啊，可以。
万一我遇到网红可以吗？来嘛。
可以。
美国人。
美国。对。
So I gotta ask you, man, how long did it take you to kind of feel comfortable to be able to speak in the language out there to the local? Because it's one thing to be studying and was it your girlfriend that helped you tremendously, or you just kind of self-taught yourself?
I spent a lot of I came to China when I was 23. I came here when I was 23 years old, and I'm 32 years old now. So I came here, young, horny guy. So of course I spent a lot of time like talking to chicks, and that was probably my main motivation for getting good at Chinese. I did a lot of dating and just talking to women. That was like my main method of like practice. Although I did a lot of self-study too. I use like little apps and things like that to help me memorize vocabulary. But definitely the driving force for a lot of my time here was like, beautiful ladies. And it took me, look, I've seen guys in less than a year get like really, really fluent in Chinese. Like you can get really fluent pretty quickly if you're putting in the hours. Like if you study for hours a day and you go out in the afternoon, like talking to people, hanging out with Chinese people, you can get pretty fluent in 6 months. For me, it took like 2.5, 3 years before I felt comfortable to where I can have conversations. I don't need to pull out my dictionary and my phone to like talk to people. I can just like talk pretty naturally. It took me around the 2.5, 3 year mark of solid study. And after that, things got a lot easier. It got like really smooth.
Man, you remember that YouTuber? And I'm gonna catch the super chat in a moment. What was that dude's name? Unfortunately he passed away.
Oh, Lao Shu or something?
Lao Shu, something like that, right? He spoke multiple languages. And I remember him used to go to like Chinese restaurants and speak fluent Chinese. They used to just drop like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
man. I really miss that dude. Shout out to Sun is Hot Raw with $2. I don't know if that's a British pound or what. So didn't the Chinese government ban hip hop?
No, I haven't. The only thing I heard them ban, they think they like banned a few years ago. This was like before like the big epidemic thing in 2000. There was like a lot of feminine boys on the TV. Like the boys, like the pop stars were like too feminine. And I remember like the government was like, hey, like these pop stars, they're too girly. We can't have that. And I remember them like talking about banning that kind of stuff. Like all these guys who are like in these boy bands and they're wearing all this makeup and super feminine stuff. That's the only thing I remember hearing them.
They're influencing the K-pop bands, right?
They got the influence from the K-pop bands and they took it in like the. Which guy?
My man Dusty Bryant says, so your main driving force, your first 9 years was desire to bed women.
Of course.
Okay, he might be of the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's a little jealous. All right, let's continue the video.
你是搞美食直播吗？还是什么吗？健身直播吗？
有健身直播，对，
吃不了火锅吗？
可以。
那就吃火锅。
我健身房，我在健身，我要去健身。Beautiful.
Let me ask you something real quick, man. Did you understand the writing first or the language first?
I learned
really like difficult. Like it's Spanish. The letters are the same, so it's like a little easier. But I'm looking at the background. That's why I asked you that. I'm looking at the background, and I'm like, damn, how the hell do you read that?
It's actually pretty simple. So if you look at the top character right there, the top thing on the top left is ho. That means fire. So like a lot of these characters, when you learn them, you can build them together. It's like ho guo is hot pot. Guo is pot. So it's kind of like Chinese is a very logical language. Like you put it together like little building blocks. So when you learn it character by character, you can slowly build up over time. And reading is pretty easy. Speaking also, I basically focused on speaking and understanding the characters. Writing is not important. I pretty much never write Chinese. You just need to be able to text it. So if you can text it and you know the sound of the words, it's called the pinyin. It's like how like huo is HUO. So I type that when I'm texting somebody and the character pops up and I can just click that. That's how I do it. And it's pretty simple, y'all. Chinese is not as difficult as people say it is. Like I studied Russian for like a year and a half, and I think Russian is like way more difficult than Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like, is Chinese? This might be a kind of like a dumb question, but are the Oriental languages all kind of like, do they tie in? It's kind of like how the Latin languages tie in, meaning the letters are like the same, or is they all totally different?
I think I understand your question. So the thing is, they have their own characters, but they have like we use English letters to like sound them out. And I think it's pretty simple. Like they a lot of the characters you can type them the way they sound. So I figured that out a while ago. Like you can figure out how to type a lot of stuff if you just are good at listening. So actually, I think speaking and listening are kind of the best skills to focus on. And if you can do that, you'll be fine. Yeah. But I love learning languages. I love studying languages. So I spent a lot of time learning a lot of stuff about Chinese I'm probably never going to use it, but it's like there's some parts of it I spent a lot of time learning.
Okay.
Yeah, hello. 来大楼一次火锅哈。
可以，谢谢，拜拜。Thank you. Okay. Wasn't expecting that interaction. But yeah, anyway, I was reading an article about Andrew Huberman. He's in the media now because apparently he's a big playboy in America. So many girlfriends. And for some reason, it's controversial that...
They like being on camera out there, bro.
Yeah. I was surprised. I was like, they're not shy. Like a lot of these girls are like, they're okay with me filming them. I thought they were going to be shy about it.
You know what's crazy? I talked to a chick that looks just like her on the right hand side of you right there. That's crazy. Top chick.
Who is very successful, intelligent. He's like a tenured Stanford professor.
Yeah, they are trying their best to get on your camera.
It's very controversial that he wants to have many girlfriends and things like that. So anyway, it's pretty interesting. So I live in China, and I don't necessarily think like being caught in the media with a bunch of girlfriends is a good thing in China or any country really in today's world. But really the thing that's really interesting is that, you know, one of the women who put him in the media, one of his girlfriends, she's like in her 40s, a single mother of 2 kids. And I guess she thought that she was going to get a monogamous relationship from this guy who's like kind of rich, super intelligent, successful. He's in really good shape. Like, he's 48, but I think he's probably maybe in better shape than me. You know, it's just really interesting, the culture that's developing in Western countries where women have these expectations of locking down a guy who's like, he's definitely in the top 1%, right? Yeah, Huberman's like in the top 1% in terms of men. I think he's probably top 1% in many areas.
Okay, so that's what you at the gym.
Yeah, man, getting those gains in, man. Had to get those gains in. I like filming myself at the gym. You can kind of speed ahead. I don't remember if I filmed myself talking to any more Chinese people, but just like I did some talking to the camera and like, you know, like working out. Then yeah.
Okay, cool. I have a question here actually, and this is I want to know the answer to this myself. What was it? Okay, headed to China, 22nd, 27 next month for business. I got to get the M visa. CCP all up in your personal is crazy. Now, what is CCP? Is that the government name or something like that?
Yeah, they always use that for the government. Like every time I make a video about China, there's always gonna be someone in the comment section accusing me of like working for the Chinese government, or they always say that. It's like, you know, I try to give a pretty balanced perspective, guys. Like my perspective is this: I'm American. Being American overseas is really awesome.
Mhm.
And I say that in pretty much every video I make. But for some reason, because I'm in China, people are going to say, oh, it's Chinese propaganda. But like my videos are basically me talking about how awesome it is to be American. So, yeah, I mean, you know, people are going to like say what they say. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, being American is really awesome. Being American in China, we got a 10-year visa, guys. Like, come on, guys. Like, come on. Nothing to complain about from me. No big complaints.
Okay, I got a question here from Felipe Lindsay says, how did you deal with the memorization component? Because these Asian languages are tonal. That's tonal.
Tonal.
And not based on Latin. What was your method to skill build?
That's a good question. I like this intelligent question. So like memorization component. That's a good question, man. Honestly, you kind of get ingrained in it. Like after a while, it's like when you've been studying for a while, your brain just kind of gets it. It's been I studied for 6 years, and I haven't studied recently, so like it's hard for me to remember what it was like when I first. But I remember when I first started learning Chinese, it was difficult because my method of studying was just kind of random. But like when you do like the building block method of learning characters, like you start at like the basic character and you build up. Like for example, shui is like water. Shui guo is like fruit. So there are many words like shui that have shui in it. So if you just spend like a week learning words with water, you'll be able to talk about a whole lot of things that relate to water and like fruit and all this other stuff. So if you have that kind of building block method, that's what I recommend. Yeah, just that kind of building block. And I used Anki. I used the Anki flashcard thing on my phone. I still study that. You know, I have all kind of flashcards I made for different topics. Like I have flashcards about business, fitness, maybe words I'm going to say to a girl. I just make different topics and I put like words related to that topic as a flashcard set, and I just build it up and I study that for like, you know, every day. You're gonna start, you know, it's gonna get easy, man. You're gonna pick it up quickly.
Okay. Somebody said in Chinese, a lot of complex characters are combinations of smaller characters. Like that's what you've been saying, basically.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Someone's criticizing my do-rag under the hat look.
Yeah, you know, I get a couple of little trolls coming in here every now and then.
That's fine. Yeah, I told you I love the haters, guy. Like, I love the haters on my comment section. Like I never block anybody who talks trash to
yeah,
me.
man. You have posted in like I guess we want to say a co-ed travel Facebook group, right? Is that what we consider that to be?
You mean that group that blocked me?
Melanated Travels or something like that?
Yeah, melanated passports. Like it's like a lot of hating. Like I hate to say it. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not one of those types of guys. I don't really have any hatred in my heart towards black women. I don't really have any. I know a lot of guys like that gets a lot of views on the internet to talk trash about black women, but like I haven't dated a black woman in like over 15 years or something like that. So I don't really have many recent memories of black women. Not enough for me to be like all resentful and stuff. But I will say that group had like a lot of black women who were really salty about seeing a black guy traveling the world with a Chinese girl. And like I posted some vacation photos of me and my Chinese girlfriend, and like the comment section blew up. It was like literally like within hours over 300 comments, majority black women like throwing salt at me, like, you know, calling my girlfriend ugly, calling me a trick, saying like I had to pay for the woman. They were throwing some pretty, like, you know, I'm not even part of this whole like race war thing that's going on in America between black men and black women. I'm on the outside, guys. Like I left America back in 2014, so I left before all this gender war stuff popped off. So I just got caught in the crossfire. I was just posting some vacation photos, trying to advertise my YouTube channel, and they got on me. You know,
Yeah, man. It's you know, I asked this question to some friends of mine because you know Latin America is pretty mixed, but we saw a white guy pass with a pretty dark skinned woman. She might have been Haitian or darker Dominican or something like that. And I asked him, I said, "Do you get triggered when you see that?" And the guys were like, "No, not at all." You know, and I'm like, it's weird because you just never know what other people are going to think about interracial relationships for the most part. You know, but it seems like with black men, for us particularly, especially black American men, it seems like I would say it's not that we don't care, or maybe we used to. I'm not sure what it is, but a lot of us don't get triggered by it. But it's the opposite for a lot of sisters, actually. Like I remember when I was in Atlanta, and I took this Colombian girl I was dating at the time, some years actually, to like a soul food restaurant, basically a black restaurant. I'm not thinking nothing of it. And they pulled the jungle fever on me, like the waitress. Like they didn't want to see me, or they didn't want to come to our table at first. And then they brought some dirty wine glasses. You know, we had to actually leave because the sister was just super rude. And then the girl at the time, the Colombian chick, she asked for another waitress. She was like, "Okay, I see how this is gonna go. Let me, you know, ask for another waitress." Another waitress came and was even ruder. But the funny part about it was another brother came in, and when he came in, he had a Latino woman with him. So it's just like now, I think because of the globalization and Tinder and everything, and it's easier to access people, you're seeing more interracial. And I don't think it's a huge problem for out of all the people, out of all the races, I don't think it's necessarily a huge problem for black men like that. And I can't really know why black American men don't generally care about our women dating outside. I mean, you will get a few comments here and there, but for the most part, guys, it's kind of like it is what it is. That might have to do something with slavery. I don't know. But if you post a picture of yourself with like a foreign woman and it's like a black female group or most black, they're going to talk a lot of shit. That's just what they're going to talk a hell of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I had another question to you. Hold on. Shout out to my man Xander Close. He asked a good question. What kind of differences in vibe did you notice between cities? Which ones were more open towards the bros versus cities that were uptight?
Honestly, in all major cities, it seems like it's pretty open now. I think the perception that people have, like Chinese, like people hate when I bring up, like it seems like some guys get a little triggered when I talk about hip hop, but it's like that is like a pretty positive thing for the most part. Like it does give us like some kind of representation, because before it's like the majority of black guys in China are like from Africa, and Africa does not have positive media representation. But like stuff that comes from America, like black people who are like winning super hard, it makes us look really good. So whether that be an athlete or like, you know, like, okay, like they got Taobao. It's that's like the Chinese Amazon. I was on Taobao the other day. They got all these T-shirts of like, black athletes, like, like cool, the fashion. It's like fashion. Like, when you go out, you're gonna see people wearing these like black athletes on their shirt. So that's positive representation. Like that's something that's good. That hey, it's like one thing that a positive check. You don't need to be an athlete or a rapper to benefit from like those kind of positive associations. So yeah, but really like the major cities, guys. Honestly, I don't really feel like any part of China has been uptight. I never really felt that. Yeah, it's just like Chinese people are actually really friendly. And when people try to call Chinese people racist, I don't think they're racist in the like. But from American perspective, okay, I think like most people on this planet would be considered racist if we're looking at it from an American perspective. It's like they judge you based on where you come from or what you look like. But most people on this planet do that. It's like most people on this planet are going to judge you based off what they think people like you do. Now, they might not judge you harshly or like, whatever, or they might not judge you positively. But I think it's human nature. We kind of build these kind of frameworks in our mind about this type of person. Like when you see an Asian girl, if you see like a cute little skinny Asian girl, you're gonna think, oh, she's so sweet. Maybe she's submissive or something like that. You're gonna have that kind of image in your mind of her. Probably 80% of guys might have that. But yeah, man, just good to travel. Like I think it's good. And
That's very true, man. It's like the difference between stereotypes, prejudice, and racism, right? Racism in itself is more like my group is going to discriminate against your group, black versus whatever. That's the definition of racism. It's more of a group element. It more has like an economic base behind it. Black Americans are discriminating against Haitian or something like that. That would be considered to be racism. And for the most part, most black people don't have any institutions of racism on the planet for the most part. Maybe some tribalism here and there. But then you talk about prejudice. Prejudice would be, my daughter is dating an Asian guy and brings an Asian guy home, and I prejudge him basically. I'm like, okay, I don't want you with this Asian guy. Now, this Asian guy might be a better man to my daughter than the other people, the other guys, the other black guys. Who the fuck knows? But that would be a form of prejudice, And stereotypes is, what all these people are. And I'm telling you, this is the most dumbest shit. And it took me to really travel the world to understand the dumbness behind stereotypes, right? Because there is no monolithic group of people that's all one way unless it's like North Korea and they're forced to be that one way. Like you got dudes that tattoo their faces and everything in every single culture. But we will say, oh, it's Pookie. That's Pookie. Bro, it's dudes with tattoos and then, all types of stuff in every single culture. You got dustiness everywhere. It's just what it is with people. But we'll stereotype, right? For example, I remember somebody saying that people from Laos were dirty or something. I'm just giving a stereotype. I'm not saying it's true at all. People from Laos, have dirty homes. But I remember growing up with a friend of mine who was Laos, and his home was spotless, right? Or the French people, they're dirty people, right? Then I'm like, okay, the French guy, I know he's pretty clean, right? Matter of fact, my French homeboy DJ, I've never seen his house dirty, right? So it's like it's these stereotypes, So I think when you culture and you travel the world, and definitely we start picking up different languages, you would just see how diverse all the cultures are, and at the same time, you'll see how similar all the cultures are as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, BMT. I sent you the link. Cause I was talking about English teaching earlier. So we were talking about traveling, right? So I sent it to you in the private chat. Basically, one thing about like my lifestyle is that it allows me to travel a lot. So like I'm in this situation where I'm in China, and right now most of my income, it comes from online. So basically I'm kind of in a situation where I can kind of travel around the country a lot more now. So you guys are gonna see a lot more of that from me. And the reason I can do that is because of English teaching. So I put out a free guide for you guys on flightmadness.com. You can check it out, and you can get the free English teaching guide that I made. I'm going to introduce you guys to online teaching. I've been teaching in the classroom a lot for the past 10 years. It's very lucrative. but now it seems like my online income is recently replaced. It's like double what I make for teaching in person. So I've decided to like double down and teach guys how to get those online teaching jobs that allow you to go remote and go where you want. So yeah.
Okay. I got Wade here again says, I get so paranoid when I say I want to visit China one day, and then one of my neighbors are quick to say that China is bad and stuff. It just get me annoyed every darn time.
Yeah, people talk. I mean, I think right now probably China and Russia are probably like the most hated countries globally. I think based off what I hear. Yeah, I mean it was whatever, man.
Passport bros need to read Claude Anderson before you travel. I'm very familiar with Claude Anderson. I've read every Claude Anderson book. All right, that's on economics. How that got into the conversation, I'm not sure.
I'm lost on that. I don't know Claude Anderson. I don't know nothing about that.
He's economics. But speaking of economics, you spoke about you teaching online and everything. Now, when you get paid, or are they paying you in, of course, their currency, right?
Yeah, it depends what company you choose, guys. Like now, there are like so many companies where online teaching, like you can you can get them to deposit into your American bank account. For me, I've got a couple different companies I'm with, and I have them pay me in Chinese money, and I just transfer to my American bank account, and it's pretty simple. Not like
do they lose anything in the exchange there, or?
I have a service that I use to where like I just pay the service fee. It costs like maybe 15. If I transfer like a big amount, like over $1,000, the fee might be like maybe $15. So I don't lose any transfer fees like that with the service I use.
Okay. And I don't know if you're familiar with all this, but the BRICS situation is it serious out there in concerns of they trying to ditch the American dollar? Have you heard anything about that, or are you just not really concerned about that?
I'm not concerned at all, guys. Like I told you guys, like I live in China, but I'm pretty like I'm pro China and pro America at the same time. Like I'm pro living in China because living in China has been really awesome for me. But I realize that the fact that I'm American is probably one of the main reasons that China is so awesome for me, because as Americans we have so many privileges and we can make so much crazy money that other people don't have access to. So I don't concern myself about that. You guys shouldn't concern yourself about it either. I mean, it's always good to like have like a few different currencies like saved up, but it's like you got dollars, guys. Like if you can get paid in dollars, I suggest that. Maybe number two might be crypto or something, but number one, the dollar, and you'll be fine. Dollar is fine.
Got another question here about a Facebook user. Says, how much in US dollars does it take to live comfortably for a month?
It depends on the city. So if he's talking about housing costs, how much does my housing cost? I got the converter right here. I got a 1-bedroom in the city center, pretty nice size. I pay a little like $430 a month, and I'm right here in the city center. If you're making $1,000 a month, honestly, you'll be okay. Shanghai is a lot more expensive. So if you're gonna be in Shanghai, I suggest you'll probably make at least $3,000 a month. If you can pull in $3,000 a month, which you can do, especially with English teaching, like you can definitely get some like part-time jobs in Shanghai, and you can boost your income pretty significantly just off English teaching. Probably $3,000 a month. You'll be living pretty comfortably in Shanghai. But for my city, you can live pretty decently. $1,000, if you want to like buy. I don't drink alcohol or nothing. Like the only thing I spend money on is like clothing and like health supplements and like that kind of stuff. $1,500 a month, you'll be living good, no worries.
Okay, cool. And I got Dusty Pookie Bryant says, bro, I support that you're living your dream of sleeping with every average chick you can, but as a Black veteran, China is not the spot. You want to address him real quick because he keep going at you, man.
I mean, I'm used to people going at me. Like for me, I like it when people talk trash to me because it just motivates me. Um, yeah, so whatever. I mean, hey, you got your opinion, man. Like for me, I have a lot of opinions that people disagree with. So, like for example, I was in the Philippines recently, and I was not very satisfied with the selection of women there compared to other countries I've been to. So, a lot of guys they got angry at me, they got upset. But hey, different guys got different opinions. For me, I like girls who are like, nice gym body, like they got that nice shape. And a lot of guys, they don't want that. I mean, they want that, but it's like a lot of guys are willing to settle if they can get like a traditional woman. They're gonna go out there to the province, like they'll go out there to the middle of nowhere so they can find a traditional woman who hasn't been touched by Western influence. And that's not how I'm trying to live. So a lot of guys they kind of got upset with me when I said that. So this guy in the comment section, I guess Chinese girls aren't his type. Like for me, Chinese girls are really, really attractive. They're pretty up there in terms of like ranking, Asian women. So, but some guys disagree. Hey, it is what it is.
Okay. Well, once again, bro, I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. I know it's probably like 2 something in the morning out there where you at, because you guys are a couple hours, actually 12 hours ahead. Definitely appreciate you coming on the show. You want to say anything before we go?
I think I said
link up on the screen before we leave too.
Hey, but Aaron, we didn't even watch that video about the Russian girl. Like there were like 2 videos. Did you want to discuss the Russian girl video?
Oh, I can do on the next one, bro.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. And I'm gonna be putting out more videos, guys. So, download the English teaching guide. Go to Flight Madness YouTube. Subscribe. I got more videos coming. You can see my controversial opinions. I put out like a lot of stuff that pisses people off. So, yeah, and hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week.
Hold on, real quick, man. They threw one in there before we drop off. Port City Investment says, if I think as a man, you have to think about your offspring. If you have a half black kid in China, they will have a life of hell.
No. I put a video out recently about dating in China as a black man. I think it's the most viewed video on my channel. And if you skip to the end, you'll see this like half African, half Chinese guy. He's like, pretty good looking guy. And like, he's pretty popular on social media. Because he's black, but he has like Asian features, and like honestly, he's pretty tall too. Like basically that guy can get like a lot of chicks. Basically, that guy can get like that guy has access. The fact that here's the thing, guys. I hate to say it, but like the fact is like there are some women who are never gonna date a person who's not of their own race. So like there's some Chinese women, especially the women who are like considered like maybe 8s, 9s, and 10s in China, those women are most likely going to not date outside their race. I think that's true for a lot of countries because most of the women you see, guys, these foreigners with, they're probably not considered a dime piece by local men. But yeah, the fact is that guy, he's Chinese, he's mixed, so he has access to women that a lot of us aren't going to have access to. So I would, being half black, half Asian is actually pretty good if we're talking about attracting the ladies.
I've seen a lot of videos of street interviews of this Asian guy. I think they're in Japan though, and he speaks on like interracial couples and mixed people that grew up in Japan. And I've heard it both ways. I've heard it being difficult, and I heard it being okay. It was difficult while I was little. When I got to high school, everything kind of chilled out. So but I think it's some advantages to being 2 different cultures for the children as well, right? Like I'll give you an example. Just here in the DR, if somebody's Dominican and American, well, of course they can go to America and make all types of money, and then they can send it here to the DR. And damn near build apartment complexes, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lot of advantages of being in 2 cultures as well. I think it's more advantages of being in 2 cultures than one in some cases. In some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, there's definitely some advantages, man. Because you get to, 2 cultures, right? So you get to be the in between. You get to be the in between 2 cultures, man. But once again, Danny, classic show, man. I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all enjoyed hearing me speak Chinese.
Right, and we'll do the show on your interactions with the Russian next week too, if you're available.
Cool, man. Cool. Thanks for having me.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right. See ya.
All right, guys. Another classic show. We out. Peace.
Globetrotters, are you ready to elevate your travel game and make every trip unforgettable? Get ready to revolutionize your adventures with Passport Bros app, your ticket to turning passion into profit. With Passport Bros, your travel videos and posts aren't just memories, they're money makers. Share your awe-inspiring experiences with the world and watch your bank account grow with every click. But wait, there's more. Connect with a vibrant community of fellow explorers, where camaraderie knows no borders. Exchange insider tips, forge lasting friendships, and create memories that last a lifetime. And that's not all. Gain access to exclusive discounts on accommodations, from cozy boutique hotels to luxurious resorts, ensuring you can travel in style without breaking the bank. So why settle for ordinary when you can experience the extraordinary? Join the Passport Bros app today and unlock a world of adventure, connection, and endless possibilities. Download the app now and let the journey of a lifetime begin.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.